Episode 1, Brie Larson. Brie Larson is the latest in a long line of female protagonists, but unlike the fair majority of them, she has to be the most unlikable, and here's why. Brie Larson has made no short work in delving straight into the political circle, by first calling out any and all white males who didn't like certain movies, like A Wrinkle in Time. Granted, that movie was for kids, but who gets to decide what opinions people can and can't have about modern cinema and modern movies? Definitely not Brie Larson. It didn't stop there for Larson, because straight after that, she started name-calling and started calling everybody a hater for not liking Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel was a movie that had mixed response. And mixed because, well, it wasn't that good of a movie. It was a movie that had fantastic cinematography, it had a fantastic score in some areas, and it had fantastic prosthetics for the facial masks for the Skrulls. You know, you had fantastic characters like Samuel L. Jackson, and you had the brilliant Ben Mendelsohn. And I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but played the co-pilot. You know, the best friend to Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. She was great, and even the little girl, her daughter, was fantastic. But whenever Brie Larson was on screen, it was the same bland, emotionless garbage. There was no moment where you truly liked Captain Marvel being on screen. Because, well, she was so, like I say, emotionless and vapid. It was like looking at a brick wall with superpowers. We had her fighting off against the Skrulls, in which she would then growl back. She would growl back at them, and that was assumed to be comedy. But I've seen the film twice now, and each time I saw it in the cinema, no one laughed. It was not a funny moment. It wasn't any moment that anybody thought, wow, that was some great writing. That was some pure comedy right there. Because it wasn't. It wasn't funny. It just felt out of place. Because moments prior to that, we had Brie Larson's character, Captain Marvel, be taken hostage by the Skrulls and have her mind probed for information. Now, we were going through her mind and we saw that every time she encountered a male counterpart character, it was always demeaning towards her and towards females. Now, there is one message that kept hammering home to the audience. It was being hammered. It wasn't light, it wasn't subtle, it was smashed in with a sledgehammer. It was that men are bad, and you can't trust them. And it's a message that Captain Marvel has throughout the entirety of the movie. Her person that she's trying to find, I forget the scientist's name, but it turned out to be Mar-Vell. Mar-Vell has been now gender swapped to be more towards her story of women having women power. Now, you can do that, of course you can gender swap, because it worked with the Ancient One for Doctor Strange, because Tilda Swinton is a fantastic actress, and she knows how to work a screen, she knows how to work a script. She really did sell that movie, and even in Endgame, when I saw her again, I was like, wow, that's fantastic. Good bringing her back. That's what we want to see. But when I see Captain Marvel, I know that there is an atmosphere of divisiveness, and it's difficult to like her. Because on one hand you have Captain Marvel, which is a cool character. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like the character Captain Marvel. I just don't like the actress Brie Larson. She is dividing the fans now, and it's becoming silly. Because much like Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the film was made to be divisive. Rian Johnson has even stated that and said, yes, it's a divisive movie. But why? You have such a huge fan base of, 25 to 30 to 40 to 50. My dad, 65, loves Star Wars. When he came out of The Last Jedi, he felt... He didn't know what to feel. It was a moment of seeing one of his favourite characters, Luke Skywalker, turn into this absolute reversal of what he represented in the original movies. He was a symbol of hope and strength and honour and they're nothing after The Last Jedi. Complete and utter nothing. Now, Mark Hamill, much like Brie Larson, is a person, first out, you know. They're not their characters, they're not Captain Marvel, they're not Luke Skywalker. They are two very, very different things. Mark Hamill on Twitter, he's very vocal about being anti-Trump, and he's very, very political. And you can do that, of course you can. But at the same time, it slightly diminishes the character that they stand for. So when Last Jedi came out, when Captain Marvel came out, these characters are now being diminished by the actual people that play them. And it's an absolute shame. It really sucks, because as a fan, you can't just go into this, you know, loving every element of it. There's always that part where it's like, well, they did say this on Twitter, they did say this at an interview, and Brie Larson is most definitely one of those kind of people, because when she's sitting alongside Don Cheadle and sitting alongside Chris Hemsworth, she can't have a back and forth with them. She feels that she has to be above them because she is the newest, hottest thing on the sidewalk. But the thing is, we know them more. We love them more. And now Brie Larson's swinging on in, you know, guns are blazing, hoping she can take out every single person in front of her. And she's going to be stopped because the fans don't want her around. Nobody wants her around. She is so unlikable. And it's unfortunate. It truly, truly is unfortunate, because she has the aesthetics to look absolutely fantastic in the full Captain Marvel armor. Like, as soon as that was announced, as soon as the set pictures were released, and Empire did their first, you know, massive cover, I immediately wanted the Hot Toy. The Hot Toys are these 6th scale action figures, or yeah, they're action figures, and they're brilliant. They're so well detailed. And as soon as they announced that they were doing a Hot Toy of her, I was like, wow, okay, definitely want that. Definitely want the deluxe version. Because the armor and the leather jacket, I love that combination so much. I think it's fantastic. I've already seen some really fantastic cosplays of that as well, and yeah, she looks fantastic. She's brilliant. But then it's ruined by the fact that she can't act. Her face can't turn from anything from, you know, it's just stone. It's a stone face that doesn't move. There is no emotion in that. And it's an absolute shame. And that's going to be something you see a lot with the images that I post here, or on this video, is the fact that her face has one emotion to it. It's just this, I don't know, it's either cocky or it's angry. It's this angry or cocky face, and it's normally the face she pulls during the film Captain Marvel, as well as the face she pulls in Endgame. Now, I'm hoping in the future of her acting career as Captain Marvel, because she's just got a 7-movie contract, she does find herself a new facial expression. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. But I just want to bring it back to the points I was trying to make prior. Now, with her being in the MCU, she is now just pushed, or apparently, allegedly, she's pushed for an all-female-led Marvel movie. Now, I'm going to say this. I think an all-female-led Marvel movie could be great. It has all of the possibilities of being great. It really does. You've got some fantastic female actors inside the MCU. Now, Brie Larson, if she's going to lead this team, that might be a different story. And it depends on how deep they want to push the social politics, because that is always something that gets in the way of these new movies. Black Widow, apparently, is going to have a feminist writer, and is going to have a very feminist agenda-driven story. I think that's an absolute... It just doesn't feel right. Like, Black Widow has already become a feminist icon, a female power icon, because against all odds and whatever else, she has been an assassin in a world where you've got, you know, flying robots and Infinity Stones. You know, she's one random person in a world of this chaos, and she's still a badass. That's brilliant. Like, she's brilliant. Black Widow will always go down as one of the most badass MCU characters ever. And Marvel characters, anyway, from the Marvel comics. To then make her solo movie a big feminist... No, it just isn't right. It's not right. No. So, if they do the same for this female-led movie, it's going to be very clunky. It's going to be very... It's going to alienate a lot of the actual people watching the film. And that is always going to be a problem. Because your majority of people watching your film, at least a Marvel movie, is going to be a male audience. That's who it's based at, that's who it's for, and now with this very female-driven movie, you could easily start splitting off fans. Because a lot of people are going to leave Phase 4 alone. Like, a lot of fans have just said straight out, the end of Endgame was enough for me. After Endgame, I'm done. I'm out. Peace. Make people come back for that Doctor Strange movie because that looks fantastic. But apart from that, there is no other reason calling us back. Because we've had such a back and forth with the whole Spider-Man issue. Whether, Spider-Man was staying, whether Spider-Man was going. And that was a heartbreaking matter because Tom Holland is a flawless actor. He has been given the role of Spider-Man, he has taken the role of Spider-Man, he is Spider-Man. That's it. That is the end of that argument. Spider-Man is Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Now, with anything else with the whole Sony and Disney thing, I'm hearing rumours that Disney are going to buy Sony's Spider-Man straight out, just $5 billion, bam, gone, done. I'd love for that to be the case. I think that would be a fantastic deal. There was also the rumours of Amazon and Apple jumping into the fray, buying out Sony's movie rights completely, like not just Spider-Man, just buying the complete movie section. So I'm not sure how that would work legally and how much money that would be, but a lot. But hey, Apple and Amazon, two major money players, why not? But yeah, again, going back to the point, going back to the whole reason this video exists, is that Brie Larson wasn't the best thing in the movie. She really wasn't. This movie felt like a Phase 1 movie, not a Phase 3 movie. The fact it was slap bang in between two Avengers movies is probably the reason why it succeeded, to bring people in. This movie was not a success. It was not a good movie. It's objectively bad, and it's subjectively bad. Now, there are, like I say, bits and pieces, the effects, prosthetics, some of the actors, really good, top notch, 100%, that's the MCU for you, that's some good stuff. Now, the writing and directing team, it felt like they were on an off day. Did not feel like a decent MCU movie. It just felt very bland, very, very flat. There wasn't anything to it that I liked. And you could tell it was a very feminist movie because of all of Brie Larson's lines and quips. And then, of course, that fucking awful scene when she's fighting off against her old teammates, who, by the way, did not get enough screen time. God. The jukebox gets hit or something, and I'm Just a Girl starts playing, and it is the most out of place song in the entire movie. It's just, it comes out of nowhere, it stays there for too long, it doesn't do anything for the actual scene, it just makes the whole thing stand out. And it was such a poor choice. Such a poor choice. Now, this isn't a hate video, because I know a lot of people, if they do end up watching this, I'm not sure if even two people are going to watch this, but if they do, this isn't a hate video. This isn't a hate video against Brie Larson, this isn't a hate video against Captain Marvel, this isn't a hate video against feminism in movies, it's just what it is. It's my dislike for Brie Larson. I do like Captain Marvel. I do think feminism has a place in movies, I just think it has to be done well. And this is a movie that did not do it well. At all. Now, I'm going to try and round this video off in less than 20 minutes, because I feel that if I rant a bit more, I could easily do this for the next 2 or 3 hours. But it's obviously not what you guys want, not what I want. I just want these to be like concise 20-minute videos, and I'm going to finish it off with this. with all of the feelings and the social politics that's being pushed into these Marvel movies, it could easily leave the future of Marvel in an uncertain balance. We could very much have a Last Jedi thing happening, where it's not doing well, and it won't do well for the future. So a few fans like myself are nervous about the future of Marvel. We hope it goes well. We hope Phase 4 does well. But the very last thing I just want to say is, why does social politics now become such a mandatory push for all these mainstream movies? When did feminism become more important than equality? If you like this video and anything I did say, if you like, agree, if you disagreed, put stuff in the comments, like, dislike, do what you feel is fair, and I'll see you in episode 2. See ya.